What's up guys, Xman Co here, and today, all the way from Canada, Vancouver Island, we're bringing one of our favorite recipes to you guys. You guys commented, you wanted more, and we're bringing a Boerewors recipe to you. Not just any Boerewors, we're bringing bacon and cheese Boerewors. Let me introduce you to all the ingredients and show you what you're going to need. Over here we've got some hog casings. You guys can use sheep casing if you like. We've got some pork, bacon to be exact. We've got some cheddar cheese, old cheddar cheese, what we're going to use today. We've got some coriander, rosemary, nutmeg, sea salt, cloves grounded, olive oil, malt vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, and some peppercorns. Now guys, you can use black peppercorns. You can mix it up like we're doing, whatever works for you. Now the best part of this whole recipe is all the meat. We've got some brisket. Now guys, the reason we use brisket, you see all that fat there? It's just so much fat, and that's what we want. Fat's flavor. We've got beef over here, more beef, brisket, and we've got some pork. Now the ratio that you want to do on our sausage that we're making today is 30% pork and the rest beef. We are substituting some of the bacon for the pork that we would normally have over here. So therefore we've got 4 kilograms of beef and 1.7 kilograms of pork. Guys, without further ado, let's dive straight into this recipe. We're going to start off by cubing all our meat. Now guys, depending on the size of the machine that you have, you can do big cubes or smaller ones. We've got quite a big machine, and therefore we don't have to cut it up too small. So you want to carry on, just cube all your meat, get it ready to go through the funnel of your grinder. A few things to pay attention to: make sure that the meat is room temperature. Therefore we removed it about an hour ago already out of the fridge. A lot of guys freeze their meat. You can do that, but just make sure it's totally defrosted by the time that you want to utilize and make your Boerewors. If there's any hard fat on your beef, you want to get rid of that as well. Right guys, it's time to cut up the bacon. It's time for our cheese. Now guys, this is 700 grams of cheese, and you can decide how much you want to go and put into your Boerewors. You want to make sure that the cheese is cut really nice and small. Remember, it's going to be bursts in your mouth once you cook it. If it's too big, it's not going to be fun. It's really going to take that really Boerewors effect with a nice little bit of cheese in between away. And you really want that experience. You don't want to grind the cheese, so therefore nice and small cubes will be perfect. The next step of this recipe goes like this. We've got our coriander on the side here. Remember, we want to roast that, which we're going to show you in a minute. In the middle here, we've got some salt, nutmeg, ground clove with all the wet ingredients all mixed together. On the very left here, your right, we've got some rosemary and peppercorns. Let's get all of these ingredients ready and mix them all together just before we're going to put them into this beautiful batch of meat. So on a medium heat, we want to roast our coriander. You want to do it for about 2-3 minutes. Now, this is entirely up to you how far you want to go with it. We wait until there's a little bit of smoke and the color changes. That's just perfect for us. You want to add your rosemary and your peppercorns and move over to the grinder. Now guys, you can use a mortar and pestle if you want. We're just going to use a normal spice grinder. You want to grind it to medium, not too coarse. It all depends on the flavor, and do you want it to be popping in your mouth? We found that if you grind it to medium, that's actually just perfect for us. We're going to grind some meat here. Now we've got quite a big machine. You might not have this size, and that's not a problem. You'll see we've got a cold sock over here, and that prevents the meat from, or the fat from, clogging up right at the end here. So basically, if you don't have this cold sock and this setup, what you want to make sure is that you put all your tubing and your rotors, everything in front of the motor, into the freezer. Make sure it's nice and cold, because guys, if you do not do that, the fat will clog and you'll have to clean up the whole time. Anyways, without further ado, make sure your meat is nicely mixed between your pork and your beef, and let's grind some meat. Now before we can put this meat into casing, we need to mix it nice and properly. So now's a good time to mix your cheese or whatever else you want to add, jalapenos even, you decide. And our ratio is about 10% of cheese to the total amount of meat. We've got these beautiful spices. It smells absolutely like Boerewors. Right, so you want to just throw that over there. And we want to mix this whole batch here. I'm going to show you guys quickly. You want to use your fingers like this. As soon as you start to do this too much, if you do this, be careful, use the fingers. You do not want to crush it. So let's go ahead and mix all of these ingredients so that we can put it into the fridge for at least, I would say, 4 to 6 hours. We try sometimes to just do it overnight, which is even better because then all of this goodness can soak into the meat and the flavors can just mingle and just get incorporated all over the batch of product. And then another pro tip as well, what you guys could do is just take a little bit, just before you're going to do your casing, compact it, put it onto a skillet and just try it out. If you're happy with the taste, that's what your Boerewors is going to taste like eventually. So go ahead. If not, add a little bit of spices. Right guys, it's time to stuff. I've got Co here. We're going to make some sausage. So without further ado, we want to get the air out the system a little bit. So we're going to start this machine. It's a 3/4 horsepower, so it's quite powerful. Once the meat's right at the end here of the tube, then we're going to just make a knot at the end of this casing. We're using a 1 1/4, 1.5 inch casing. And then we're going to make some Boerewors. Let's do it. Sorry for the noise. Make sure to wash your casing, guys. Make sure that you remove most of the salt, run some water through it, and then this is what we do just to get that casing onto the funnel here. We use a little bit of oil, not much. Any oil's perfect. And then you can just slide it over this tube very easily. There we go. Round 2. What do you think, Co?
Looks good.
Looks good, eh? All right, so let's make another knot and then I'm going to show you guys quickly what this Boerewors looks like. What we're going to do, we're going to basically just stuff the rest of this meat, this product, and then we're going to vacuum seal. We might show you a little clip of that. Guys, we really appreciate you guys as always. Our second video here in Canada, Vancouver Island. We're so happy that we can bring you some more content, and we're going to bring you much more as soon as we move into our new place, and that's not far from now. So guys, as always, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one.